John Coovert here with Ty West, director of the Innkeepers, which film we love, and also VHS, the Second Honeymoon, a segment that I quite enjoyed because I love the foreshadowing and the payoff.
Oh, good.
Without giving away too much.
Yeah.
Because I think it kind of fits your style of filmmaking, and I love the fact that you did that in the short, because you've played in the world of shorts before. And so I kind of wonder, was this an idea for a short you already had, or did this kind of come about after you were approached to participate?
It came about out of the parameters of they basically said, it's got to be part of an anthology, it's got to be horror, it's got to be found footage. And I was like, all right, I can check those 3 boxes.
Right.
And then I can do whatever I wanted. And so, to me, this idea came about because I was trying to think of, like, God, how do you make found footage which has been run into the ground interesting?
Right.
I thought it was a very sort of perspective-driven, voyeuristic aesthetic. And I thought, well, this is a relationship movie, and the different people are holding the cameras, and you're seeing a relationship from ultimately 3 different perspectives, but mainly 2.
Right.
And how that differs. What things are like when Joe is holding the camera versus what things are like when Sophia's holding the camera, and what things are like when the camera is being held by somebody else. To me, made sense to the found. Like it wasn't just we're doing found footage because it's popular.
Right.
It was like there was a reason to do it, and that's.
Well, I mean, especially with your piece, the way you described it there, it kind of gives the characters, it builds their characters with that short amount of time that you have.
I mean, the way that they operate the camera is equivalent of the way they talk and the way they act.
So, how did you get pulled into the VHS? I mean,
I was the first person. Adam and Simon had shot the wraparound right before they did Your Next, and I got an email from Roxanne at the Collective, and she said, "Do you want to be a part of this?" And I was like, "I don't think so."
Right.
And then she showed me the bits of the wraparound. It was really rough.
Right.
But I was like, "Yeah, it's kind of sleazy and gross, and there's something appealing about that." And they're friends of mine.
Right.
And they were like, "Here's who else we're gonna get. We got Glenn." I was like, "Well, I know Glenn," and then they got Bruckner. I was like, "I know him." And
right.
Or I suggested someone, which led to Bruckner, and it felt pretty comfortable. But I still was like, I've kind of worked hard at making my own like brand, for lack of a better term. And I don't know. But the money was real. Like they really did. We're like, we could really actually give you the money to make this. You really can go do whatever you wanted.
And you get final cut.
And so I sort of pitched them the idea. Wasn't sure if they'd go for it. They liked it.
Right.
I mean, within a couple weeks, we were in Arizona shooting.
Well, where did this fall timeline-wise after like Innkeepers? Because I know you were here last year with Innkeepers.
Yeah, so we were here in March with the Innkeepers, and we've shot this in May.
Wow.
And I delivered it before July.
Wow.
So like, I shot mine and delivered mine before anyone else had even done theirs.
Wow.
So what's funny is when I saw the movie at Sundance, and mine is the most rooted in reality. So having seen bits and pieces of the wraparound, I was like, cool, I'll make this kind of very realistic found footage. I'll follow the rules of found footage. There won't be score. And then I see everyone else, like, and there's monsters and demons, and they put in score, and like they cheated all the rules.
Right.
And I was like, oh my god, now here I am, the guy with like everyone made a very midnight movie version of a found footage movie, and I made the real found footage thing. And in a way, I wonder if I was the last or the first, if I would have done it differently, and I'm not sure. I probably not.
Right.
But I don't know. Joe was the last person, and his is the most scares and scory and all. So you kind of see how it affected the person who went last, who had the ability to see what everyone else did.
You did get a good scare in yours last night there. Right?
It actually gets a huge scare.
Yeah.
But I think it's good that there's one that's the kind of low-key suspense found footage one.
Right.
I think, what's interesting about the movie and what Brad went for as a producer was representing all the different types of subgenres, whether it's ghost or alien or monster, whatever, slashers and whatnot. And mine represents the sort of more suspense type of thing. So I think it's good that it's in there. I do wonder if I hadn't gone first, if I would have done something different.
Right. So speaking of which, it seems like I keep overhearing, talking to everybody here today, possibility of expanding upon what's already there with that short. You think that's something you'd be interested in doing with this, or you think?
Sure. I mean, someone would have to say, they can't even say, "Well, give me money to make this short." Sometimes they say, "Give me money to make a feature," I'll do it.
Right on.
But the industry generally just works a lot slower than that.
Right. Well, that's the cool thing that I think about indie cinema today and all this technology is that it seems like it's getting easier to just go out there and do stuff if you want to.
Yeah, it is.
But I mean, the
problem is what I don't like about found footage is not. I mean, the trend is a little bit eye-rolling, but it's just that I really enjoy a meticulously crafted visual aesthetic to films. It's a huge part of the filmmaking experience to me as a filmmaker and as an audience. I love to see Kubrick do something that I'm like, God damn, it's so well crafted, and the framing, the composition, and the camera movement, it's so connected to the material and smart that found footage erases all of that.
Right.
And it's sloppy, and it's lazy, and it's easy. And I think the rejection that people have to it, or that we maybe have to it, is not that it's popular, or it's not that it's just that it's, and I can say even from making this was easy to make because, oh, that shot doesn't quite match, doesn't matter. Oh, like the lighting doesn't really match, doesn't matter. I can't hear the words, it doesn't matter. It's supposed to be like that. You know, there's a cop-out for everything.
Yeah.
And I think on a mainstream scale, when they're doing it just to cash in on a trend, it's cheap, lazy filmmaking.
Right.
And to see cheap, lazy filmmaking be rewarded with such success is the same thing as seeing like Paris Hilton being really famous. Like you just look at it and you go like, like this is, we're rewarding something for you know, in found footage case for being cheap and lazy, which is why they make them that way.
They're not going to make a documentary like they did for Kubrick's The Shining 30 years from now, where they're dissecting every little bit of the film for something like Paranormal Activity. It's not, it's not going to happen, I don't think.
And I think that to me that's taking a lot away from what I like about movies. It's not affecting the mainstream broad appeal or the scariness or whatever, but it's making them very surface level. And I find that to be, like I said, it's lazy and it's cheap. And I'm not saying that to belittle it, but it's literally lazier because you don't have to try as hard, and it's literally cheaper because you don't have to spend as much money or try as hard. So to see it get rewarded and then you see, you know, some sort of big, epically amazing production get swept under the rug, it's just like, you know,
it's really
how many times do we have to do this before people can, you know, let it go? But we'll see.
Well, speaking of which, what is next? Did you participate in ABC's of Death, I think, which had its little premiere here, mini premiere with the trailer last night.
Which I missed because I was doing karaoke.
Oh, really?
So I hope that went over well.
But you love Austin, right? I mean,
that's my favorite,
yeah. I mean, I know Fantastic Fest, I think we were here, I wasn't here this past year, but so, what is next?
I have a science fiction movie called The Side Effect with Liv Tyler that we're starting in June.
Very cool, very cool. Anything else to share with your fans?
The Innkeepers on DVD, April 24th.
Very cool. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thanks, man.
Ty West.